my name is Tom. Welcome to Living Through Limits. Well, a while back, probably too long ago, my son came in to the house and told me that his ceiling fan had, I guess you could say, grenaded or fell apart or whatever. If you look up here, you can see what I mean, besides it being dirty. It broke. For some reason, it's supposed to have a piece on like this, but it broke the casting. So, today we are going to replace the ceiling fan. And we're going to have to do it in a way that I normally wouldn't do it, but because I can't lift real heavy things, I'm going to take pretty much everything apart. So, first thing I'm going to do is I made sure the actual fan part was off, but I'm going to leave the light on for a little bit, and we're just going to take the blades off to make this a little simpler. Just takes a Phillips screwdriver and you just undo a screw. The last fan blade. It used to be 4. Now there's none. Okay, now what we want to do is turn off the light. If I can get my legs to work. Okay, kind of adjust your ladder. I like this kind of ladder, this step stool actually, but it gives me something to hang on to because I'm not too sure-footed anymore and I've got dust on my nose. And it gives me something to kind of balance myself, climb up the ladder, and up here at the top, holding the fan on, there's only 3 screws. So 2 of these have little grooves cut in, and one of them, which you can't really see, but it just has, I don't know if you can see it over here, it just has a hole. So the 2, you leave the screws loose, and you can twist the bell on this fan, and then that allows you to kind of gives you a place to hook it to. And we'll just loosen this screw. And if you've done this enough, you can reach over here by braille get your other screw undone. You can lift up a little bit, and then the nice thing too, while you're working on the fan, with that hole there's a hook where my screwdriver's touching. You can hook that right there. Then you find your wires that you need to disconnect. Now what I'm going to have to do, because it doesn't look like anything was actually marked. Usually the wire on the fan that has a stripe is your fan. So we're going to disconnect that. Always treat this black is your hot leg. Your common, the white one is your common, and then the ground wire is hooked up here. You know, I always treat the hot leg as if it still has power going to it. I just don't like the idea of getting shocked. It's kind of a shocking experience, and it's not fun. So then I just put my wire nut back on, if it'll allow me to. And I just take my pen and I can write on that wire nut, pull that off, Put this back on there. Pull my commons off. Okay, and you'll know there's that wire that goes to the fan. And then you can just take your whole light and this is trash. I don't even try. I used to think, oh, keep it, I want the motor, I want this. You know what? Throw it away. 10 years from now, you'll still have a bunch of junk. So we'll set this out of the way. And let's see what our other fan consists of. We set it out here. We just went down, found a fan at Home Depot. This one is an LED. I made sure it had LED lights in it. And this fan, we made sure that it came with the 3 light bulbs. So I think I only paid 50 or 60 bucks for this light. And the nice thing is it also comes with the light bulbs. It says estimated energy cost per year $1.08. It'll be interesting if it actually only costs me $1.08 a year to run. Living in California, that's probably $108. I wanted to put a little tip in here. When you're opening a box, don't put your hand here and cut. You want to save all your fingers, no blood on the light and stuff. Put your hand where you're not going to cut into it. Let's see what we've got in this box. Okay, so the instructions. Does anyone ever read instructions? We have the fan blades. And it looks like we have 2 different colors to go with. We have white and we have this gray stuff. We'll have to see which one we go with. We have the fan mount, which, because this one's different, means I'll have to change out the one that's up there. Darn, I was hoping I didn't have to. Okay, we have our lights. These are the parts that hook to the fan, the brackets. Ooh, look at this, a bag of screws. Pretty cool, huh? Light bulb we don't need out yet. We'll save it. And look at this. Each light bulb has its own spot. It has its globes, which we'll leave in the box for now. That looks like the part that covers the motor. And this fan actually comes to where you don't have to hook the light in if you don't want to. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take the bracket off the ceiling. Put these back kind of in here so I don't step on them. Move them out of the way. And then I'll probably have to do like none of us guys like to do, is look at the instructions, because this one's a little bit different. But so you want to read for your safety and all that. The parts list, we have all the parts. And it shows. Now this part is the mounting options. It shows how you should mount your box. Well, I've had a ceiling fan up there for 20 years, and I know I put it in right the first time. So what we're going to do, we're going to skip that, but it shows me that's this plate. And then it shows me how to hang the motor and all that. And that's the other thing I wanted to see to make sure I'm doing it right. And then it also gives the bracket, I mean this part, the white cover that covers the motor. And that way I can see how it's supposed to be done. So, let's take the old one off first. So what I usually do with my electrical is I like to twist my wires together. Not all three of them, just one. And that way they don't fray, or you know, like this one, like they'll just come apart. So if you twist them together, remember the little hole and the hook? This helps you. Okay, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take my ground wire I took off, but our old grounding plate, our old plate that was up here worked as a ground. Well, the new one is all rubber mounted, so it doesn't vibrate and doesn't transfer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and hopefully not knock everything down. Take the grounding screw back off, put my new ground lead on there. This one was to our motor, which is the black one. And if I could get my fingers to work. We can take our blue one, which is the light, hold it right up here. I'm going to use the other wire nut that came with it to hook our ground up. So those, because they're both multi-paired wires, I can twist those relatively easy together. Put on our wire nut. And it was a good thing I had a bigger wire nut here, because we have the two commons, but only one covered from there, one for each of the light switches, because we switch these separately at the wall. Now I want to loosen these screws a little bit, because this is the holding for our, we want to be down enough. I don't know how long these are, but these are what holds the motor and everything to this bracket. A little rectangle or a little square right here that the hook goes into. So if we put that up there, we take the motor cover, and you can see here it's got screws, but there's little rubber grommets. Okay, so we push that up into place, and then we have to turn it and get it all locked in. Okay, so now we're going to come down on the floor and put our fan blades together, because it's easier for me to sit on the floor and put them together than to stand up there and put them together. We'll ask Tommy, which color would you like to have? So here's the white and here's the gray.
Do the gray.
We shall do the gray. Now, if I was my granddaughters, I'd be sitting here popping these, but I'm an adult.
And we still do it.
And we still do it. So, what you're gonna have, these are gonna go up. So we're gonna put the bracket through there like so. I don't know if on camera you noticed that when I put some of these in, I actually screwed backwards. And that was because I'm going into sheet metal kind of stuff. And I don't want to strip the threads out because you can kind of feel the screw slip down into the thread. And some of it has paint on it. And that way you don't screw up those threads, because if you do, you're kind of sunk, because it kind of ruins the whole motor. Okay, now what I want to do before I hook up my light, and it's still easy to get to anything without the light here, I want to come over to my wall and second one.
Yeah.
And look. We have a fan, and I believe this is a 3-speed. It's a little bit noisy. I can't remember if this one was an actual reversible. Oh, it is. So in the summertime you can push air down, and in the wintertime you can pull it up, and it helps keep things warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And we're gonna undo this screw. Let's see, are these screws knurl? Oh yeah, they got the little gripper. I don't know if you can see that. It's got the little grippy things on there, so when you put it in, it bites into the metal so they don't back out. But it helps with not having the light fall down when the fan's running. They make it kind of easy on you. On these, once I get the plastic bag off of it, instead of having to use wire nuts, it has these little push and twist connections. You don't want to mess these up. I don't know. That one's on. That one's on. Push that back up in there. These back up in here. Now for these little frosted globes. The nice thing is too, and I'm surprised, they give you a little, it's almost like a rubber band on here, and it helps take up the vibration when the fan's running. So then you just slide these on, and then you tighten up these little thumb screws, kind of even them up. And number 2,
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
and maybe Margot can hand me one of those boxes with the light bulb in it. Of course, she shows you the, oh, there you go, there's the light bulb.
You're not Vanna White.
I hope not. I didn't marry Vanna White. It's a good thing these LEDs say they last like 5 million years, because the light bulbs are so frustrating getting in because nothing matches up really good. We know the fan works. Let's see if the light works. All 3 lights work. Let's see if the pull chain works. Wow! Now, if I can change this fan without falling off a ladder, and it all works, you know, when you're working through your limits, and somebody would have probably, electrician probably would have cost you, I don't know what they run now, $100 to come put this in. I did this for the price of the light, which was, like I said, $50 or $60. And now my son won't be complaining that he doesn't have a fan anymore in his bedroom. So I want to thank you for watching this. Oh, before we go, I got to tell you, the last thing you have to do is you have to clean up your mess. I made a big mess, but we're going to go off camera. We'll go throw this all out in the trash. Some of it in the recycle, some of it in the trash. But I want to thank you for watching this episode of Living Through Limits. And remember, you too can live through your limits. Thank you.